Guys, welcome to Relaxed Running. Tyson Popplestone here. I'm a running technique coach and running coach based out of Melbourne in Australia, and I'm so excited because we're only a couple of days away from the men's marathon in Tokyo. And with that said, I wanted to bring to your attention 5 athletes that I think are going to pose a real threat to that gold medal position at the end of this race. So if that's something you're interested in finding out, that's something you're interested in learning about or arguing with me about, hang around because that's what we're going to look at in just a moment. All right, we just got to say him first. When we're speaking about the marathon, which other name comes to mind but the great man from Kenya, Eliud Kipchoge. I mean, the 36-year-old bloke has been around since, well, I recognised him. I noticed him for the first time watching the 5K at the World Champs in Paris 2003 when he beat Kenenisa Bekele and Hicham El Guerrouj, both in their prime as a 17-year-old kid. Now, at the time, I think many of us thought, all right, this is going to be the highlight of this guy's career. But surprisingly, amazingly, it seemed just to be the foundation which he just kept building and building and building upon. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He's a world record holder, perhaps most famously known for breaking the 2-hour marathon barrier, which so many of us said was impossible. I think what we like about this guy, or what I like about this guy, is his performances and his history speak for themselves. He's already proved that he's an elite competitor on the world scale, and he's got that composure to back it up. I think he's going to be incredibly hard to beat, but I think the one factor that's going to make it interesting is we don't often see a bloke like Kipchoge perform in weather temperatures like what we're going to see in Tokyo. The humidity's high, the heat is high, and I think if you have a slightly off day, there's going to be a few people just snapping at your heels. That's going to make it a real challenge. I think the favourite for this race is Eliud Kipchoge, but there's 4 other athletes that I think could pose a real threat, and that's who I want to have a look at right now. The second athlete I want to bring to your attention is a 31-year-old bloke from Ethiopia, and his name is Lelisa Desita. Now, he's a 2:04 marathon runner. He's a world champs gold medalist, and he's already got a time on the board of 2 hours and 4 minutes for the marathon, which I'm sure you're aware when it comes to marathon numbers are absolutely incredible times. I think anyone with a time like that has to be considered as a gold medal threat. Now, he hasn't done a whole heap recently, but I think the history of his ability to be able to step up and handle the pressure of a big performance or a big competition like the Olympic Games or the World Championships is something in his favour. He's already proved that he can do it. He's got the composure to do it again. I think like Kipchoge, the one thing that's going to be very, very interesting is how he handles that heat. Is he going to decide to take it out fast, or is he going to sit back and just try and out sprint, speed it up over the last couple of kilometers? I think he's a really big threat to Eliud Kipchoge, but there's a little bit of uncertainty around his current form. However, based on his history, based on his PBs, and based on what he's done in the past, I think he's one bloke that we have to regard highly coming into this race. But the truth is, Ethiopia just keeps on delivering just depth. It's one of the most amazing things about so many of these African nations. You say one bloke's run 2:04 and it's mind-blowing, but then you say, hang on a sec, his training partner's done the same thing. And that's exactly what's going on in this situation. Shura Katada is the third athlete I want to bring to your attention. He's only 25 years old, but he's run a 2:04 marathon. He's got the ability to go huge. He's already won the London Marathon in 2020. He's won the Rome Marathon, the Frankfurt Marathon, and he finished second in New York. All right, the fourth athlete I'm going to bring to your attention is a bloke by the name of Lawrence Sharonda. He's a 32-year-old bloke, another guy from Kenya. Amazing how much depth these Kenyans can produce. Now, he finished second in Valencia in 2020, but he's got 2:03 next to his name, which on any given day, if he can produce that or a performance which is equivalent to that, is going to be a bloody hard time to outrun. There's a little bit of uncertainty around him just because of how long it's been since he's competed, but we know how harsh those Kenyan qualifications are, so they're not going to be taking anyone who's not at their absolute best. I think he's going to come out swinging, and like the other couple of names that I've mentioned, he's going to pose a real threat if he's still there with a couple of kilometers to go. All right, and the last athlete I'm going to bring to your attention is a Japanese favorite by the name of Suguru Osaka. Now, this guy is the national record holder for the marathon in Japan. He's a 2:05 marathon runner. But to back that up, he's run 7:40 for 3K as well. Now, when you're combining speed like that with endurance and times like that, you pose a pretty real threat. I think he's an outside chance. I think it's unlikely that he wins, but I think his name deserves to be mentioned in and amongst these other 4 athletes. Now, obviously, they are my 5 tips. I could be wrong. I could be right. I want you to let me know who I'm wrong and right about in the comments below. Tell me who's the biggest threat. Tell me who I've missed, because it's a pretty big field. And there's some other pretty big threats towards the gold medal position, or at least the medal position in this race. So let's keep that conversation going in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe. I've got new videos coming out on not only race performances, but running technique and improving your running efficiency for whatever sport it is that you do. So if that's something you're interested in, hit the subscribe button, hang around, and let's keep that conversation going in the comments below.